Hey guys, how's it going? Destriee here. This video is just going to be me showcasing this overhaul that I've been working on. Now, I want to say up front, as you can see from the screen here, not every mod I'm going to be showing off here is a mod that I've made. A lot of these are going to be just mods that I've been putting together. So it'll probably be more like a mod pack versus an overhaul, because it's not all things I've made, but they all seem to mesh together really nice for the most part. You might have seen this overhaul mod I was making before called Horn and Claw. That is still essentially what this is, but I'm just kind of remaking it now. Now I've going a bit more into my schooling and stuff like that has helped me when it comes to level design and whatnot, and just learning the tools for modding Elden Ring a bit more. I'm revamping it and doing a bunch of stuff. So the base for this overhaul is going to be Elden Vins, because I want to have the unique animations for the attacks and everything like that, and I like what the mod creator did for a lot of the things here. I like how he worked in the consumables. I like most of the animations that he uses. So really happy with what the creator did here. So I want to use this as a base. However, when I get this mod pack overhaul thing of the stuff that I personally made to a point where I feel like I can publish it, it's gonna be on the vanilla model of the game, but all you would have to do is download Elden Vins first. You'll have to go to the mod creator's website. I'll have it linked in the description down below so you can check it out. And you'll have to download that first and then download my mod, so that way everything works together. But all the stuff that I'm going to tell you I personally made will work on base Elden Ring, no mods, as long as you're using Mod Engine. I only use Mod Engine 2. I don't know how to use Mod Engine 3, because I don't know. I've tried, it doesn't seem to work for me. So I'm still using Mod Engine 2. If you know how to use the third one, by all means use that. It doesn't make a difference. So when you start a new game, I'm using alt saves. When you start a new game, instead of going to the Chapel of Anticipation, which is where you would normally start the game, you're going to go to where the Church of the Dragon Communion is in Limgrave. But I changed that up to be your starting area. It's not very big, but you can see we're in Limgrave, and I called it the Tarnished Abode. Initially, I just called it my home, but I felt like that was a bit too basic. So this is where you'll be when you start the game. This is a new character, but I'm using the Elden Vins. You can see right there, that's my level and everything. Since I'm using Elden Vins, it changes the default classes. So this is what one of those classes looks like, minus some of the clothes that are part of different mods. But this is the area I created. I just put a little house here with the these flowers are from the Cerulean Coast from the DLC. I really like the look of them, and I wanted to bring them over to this area. So this is what that looks like. You can have the jellyfish here at night. Here is the bonfires, and they are actual bonfires now. This is a different mod, not nothing I did. But it's simple, and I like how it came out. I removed the big thing there, but I left the message. And you can see I left the altar here, so you can still do the dragon stuff. And I also brought this guy here. He does work. You can still give him the spell books and learn stuff. I just wanted to have him around here. He's nice. And here's another mod that I really like. I think it's cool. There is some hiccups to it. It's not really practical, but it is fun to use. And it's a mod that lets you ride other mounts besides Torrent. This is not Torrent. I will show you in a second. Torrent does not look like this. There is some caveats with using this mod, though. From what I gathered, you cannot jump or sprint using a different mount. It won't do anything. However, there's a weird thing where I want to say it's when you try to jump using a mount, it'll put you in a jumping/falling animation. So after a while, it will just kill you. I don't know if it also just does that as you jump on and off the horses. So I always recommend every now and then just jump off to make sure you don't die. I was changing some of the parameters in Smithbox, and I think I got one that just doesn't have me die automatically. I also had to upgrade it. If you go to download the mod, I will have it in the description down below. It is out of date, so you will have to go into Smithbox and update it. Not very hard. Just look up a YouTube tutorial on how to do it. It's very quick. But yeah, and this horse will always respawn here when you hit the bonfire. I'm not touching it yet because I went ahead and grabbed a couple things so I can show off what I've been working on. And if I do that, Melena's going to take me to the round table hold, and I don't want to go there just yet. But yeah, this whole area was something I created. Just throwing a bunch of stuff together. I think it looks nice. It's not done, still a work in progress, but I like it. I also put this sign here. The ride prompt is kind of large, so um, you might have to like choose between different messages. Also, if you just jump on the horse and then just get off without using like jumping off the horse, more often than not, you won't be able to get back on until you hit a bonfire. Just letting you know. But if you read the message, I just wrote said make sure to grab the flask from the course next to you, which is that right there. Since you're not starting from the very beginning, you won't have them put in your inventory when you get to the stranded graveyard. So I just put them here so you can grab it real quick. And you can mess with the horse. I like to just take the horse. As again, this isn't really practical. It's just kind of fun, and I think it's a cool concept, and I like the potential for it. But I mean, you're not gonna use this once you get Torrent because the other month can't do the things Torrent can, and it is kind of sluggish as you can see here. But I like how the blue flowers kind of fade away a little bit as you get farther away. I think that's a neat touch. I didn't intentionally mean to do that. It just happens. I covered up this entrance. The other one is still open, so you can still go in and do the bot quest line and everything. You can still fight the bosses and all that stuff. It's just that part right there that's blocked off, so you can't actually get through there, which is why I added this path. This path, if you don't remember, is not normally here. So let's go into the end. The thing I said about jumping, I feel like it also kind of works the same when you have the mount fall off any type of edge. So I tend to just jump on and off the horse really quick. Now I changed this area too. I just moved this little thing and I rotated it so it's still above them. But I'm using it as a platform to show off another mod I'm using that is called the like air movement or something. I'll have, as again, mod will be in the description down below. And it gives you a double jump and the ability to dodge in midair. And I think that's really cool. A lot of what I've been working on with the level is kind of based around this. Based around being able to jump around and stuff. So while the mod itself is not something I did, the effects you see, so when I dash, you have the gusts of wind, and you have the little puffs of wind when I jump. That was something I added myself in Animation Studio. So I think that's pretty neat. And as I said, I created this little area myself, put the little tombstones here. This is supposed to be like the little tutorial for the gravestones to kind of explain, here's how you do the double jump. You also have wall jumps, and you can like float, kind of. But if you keep jumping near a wall, you'll have, I think, a couple seconds to continually jump on the wall before you are not able to anymore. Now from here, you can just go this way, and you don't have to do this, but I wanted to give a choice. So you can either go that way and just wait till that gets a little bit lower and jump up, or just, whatever. Or you could take this little path I created. Just as, again, to get you a little more used to the new jumping mechanics. And now we're up here. So, to another change that I have made is you can kind of see there's some stuff over there that wasn't there before. And that's where we're heading. That was sudden. That's what happens when you mess with the game. But yeah, as you can see here, the stranded graveyard area looks a little different. All this is still here. I'll just go ahead and light this bonfire. And remember, all the fighting, any combat you see, the animations, that's all from the Elden mod. The only things I did really, quote unquote, animation wise are this right here. But you see, I kind of redid this, so this is blocking the entrance. Not that it would matter, because this is doesn't have collision. I got to figure out how to work that in the map editor. But even if this wasn't here, the door still doesn't open, because it only opens from one side. So you have to enter it via the back passage, which is through the little beach down here. If you didn't know, there's like a little cave entrance down here to get to the back of like where you start after the tutorial chapel area. The little hole that gets you back to that area. So that's how you have to go in. And I made two. I didn't make the armor themselves, but I made them independent. They're standalone rather. So I added the Dancer armor, and I added Wilder from Night Rain. Wilder's armor is going to be in here in the where you have to use the Stone Sword keys. It's going to be after fighting one of the bosses in there. Well, you don't have to beat the boss, but it's in one of the areas. You'll find his complete armor set. And the other one, as you can see, that is the Church of LA. That's where Kale is. And we're going to go ahead and go there now to see what the mod, it negates fall damage as long as you are using an attack, a certain attack, and you're not falling like forever, because you'll still die. But here's this. I created this myself. I wanted to have a little different area, but not anything like super crazy for this little church spot right here. It's another thing I'm still working on, but I think it's pretty cool so far. Here's Kale, here's the horse. And I like having this little spot right here so you can still see the thing for the catacomb. It kind of like when you're walking in from down here, it's something that you almost immediately notice I might have to move that tree. But you're going to be kind of looking in that direction. And you're like, oh, there's that thing. And then you can go and, figure it out. Right here, this is just a placeholder because I just figured out how to do this, so I wanted to make sure it works. I added the Dancer's armor. This was from somebody else's mod, as again, it'll be in the description. And I just took what they did and I made the armor standalone with its own animation, or with its own description, rather. And I added the pictures and everything myself. They're not perfect, but I think they look pretty good. But yeah, like I said, they have their own picture, their own description. I think it's pretty neat. I think I have to fix one of the descriptions, but whatever. The creator of this mod, the original one, not this I made, the original one replaces different armor sets. He has a material file to make the like armor look more accurate. I didn't do that, so if you want the actual like materials for this set, you're gonna have to go to their mod. Because again, I'm not everything you're seeing here that I say is mine. I'm not uploading yet. I want to polish them up a little bit more, and I kind of want to get your guys' feedback on what you think. Anyways, here's Torrent. Now, what I'm gonna show you is one of the first things I learned when it came to. I'm gonna just actually teleport from here. Yeah, I'll go here. What I'm gonna show now is one of the first things I learned when using Map Studio on like how to do. And I'm sure you've seen it done a couple times already, but I repaired the bridge that's over here, so that way you can just go to Myrnia and not have to either go through Stormvale or take the little side path, which, I mean, it's not like it's hard to take the side path, but I don't know, I always wanted this bridge fixed whenever I would play the game. I just wanted to ride through it, and that's what I did. Went ahead and fixed the bridge. And I'll show. I've redone the whole bridge thing a couple times just to try to make it look more real, and I think the result I came up with is not too bad. There's little issues here and there, but I think overall it looks pretty good. Now, another thing Another thing that I want to show off, because I don't really see a lot of people do this one, and to be fair, there's not really a reason to. But I was still trying to learn Map Studio, so I decided to replace this other bridge, which is the one that goes to the Gate Town, I believe it's called. I'm going to show you here in a second. Takes a little bit to get to. I think I'll go ahead and just speed up the video until we get to the bridge. Alright, now this is another bridge that's usually completely broken. This one's not as polished as the other one. I'm still figuring out how to place things properly. And not just that, you'll still be able to see that there's the wreckage from the original broken bridge that I couldn't delete, because if I tried to delete the portion, it would delete all these buildings here. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave the aesthetic mostly as is and just have this big ass bridge that you can just drive through. Obviously, this is going to be kind of boring. As I work on it, I want to add some maybe like blockades and oops. What you guys just saw was the loveliness of modding. You do some stuff and the game doesn't really like it sometimes and just crashes. That's going to happen. But as I work on this bridge, I want to add more structures, more like, just clutter to make the bridge more lively, have some enemies. I was thinking of taking the dragon. That's normally the one that kind of blocks the key to get into the academy. Probably have that dragon come up here and you have to fight it here. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then as we get closer, have their fortifications that they had over there, kind of have them posted up along the bridge. Just some, so it's not just a blank bridge like that. But as you saw, that was one of the last major things that I did. Granted, major, all I did was make a bridge, but it did take a little bit to try to get it mostly right. There's still a couple issues here and there, but all in all, I think that did pretty good. There's one more thing I'm going to show you. This is my most work in progress thing. This is a thing that very much needs to get worked on more, but still think it's cool. And I will see you guys in the round table hold for that. Alright guys, we just got to the round table hold, and I have been working on an area that's just past that door. With the reshade I got on, it's kind of hard to see. There's crazy bloom effects. But I'll show you once we get down there. The NPC invader is still here, but he won't follow me when I go back there. So we're just going to jump down and kind of run past him, because he will still kick my ass. I'm still early level. But yeah, this is the area, and I really like how that looks when you walk in with the, like that bloom effect. And right now it's really dark. I got to figure out lighting. I'm not too great on lighting right now. Look at him. Look at him. Can you fight me in here? Oh shit. Oh, dude, wait. Can you fight me? Because I can't fight you here. This place, it's not part of the arena, so I can't fight, but it doesn't look like he can fight either. So, initially I was thinking of making this some type of, like, boss training thing, or just a trainer in general. He's like an overactive freaking puppy. You might notice that his proportions are a little weird. That is another mod I have on called Better Monster Creation. And that essentially just lets you really mess the sliders up with your character to make them like super like beefy or fat or whatever. But it also messes up all the other player NPCs, like the ones that use models similar to the player. So all of them are going to look kind of messed up. But yep, sorry about your eyeballs. But yeah, this is my very much work in progress room. I've played a lot of mods like Convergence and Garden of Eyes and Golden Age, and a lot of them I like how they do changes to a lot of the areas, but I also don't really want to change too much of like main things that the developers made, like the legacy dungeons and whatnot. I think those are pretty good the way they are, and any changes I would make would just probably be to make it getting through them just easier. Because mods like this are not meant to be played, by people who've never touched the game before. They're meant to be played by people who've played it 100 of times and just want to try something different. So a lot of the changes I want to make are either going to be completely new things, kind of like this area that you don't even have to interact with if you don't want to, or the things like with the bridges or the church where it's just cool little outcroppings that don't really change anything, but I just think they look neat, or things to just make getting through the area a bit faster. But I think that's all I really want to show. Um, I'm not. This isn't like a video showcasing Elden Vins or anything like that. There's like hundreds of videos that do a way better job at that than I could. But yeah, I really think that's all I got to say. Looks like he finally just gave up. So yeah, if you guys like what you see, let me know. Give me some ideas on stuff I can either improve or things you would like to add. If any of the mods that you saw here, individual ones you would really like for yourself, let me know, and I'll try to work faster on getting like the individual mods out. Like I said, the dancer mod, and I have one for Wilder. They're standalone outfits. I still gotta finish polishing the Wilder one with like the pictures and the description and all that. But those, if you guys want, I just want to make sure I get permission from the original creator of the models themselves to post a standalone version of them for that. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Same thing with like this mod here. I want to get permission before like uploading my own version of this that has the effects. But yeah, I know I've said but a whole lot of times. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained right now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff I'm supposed to tell you to do. Please let me know anything you would like to see or any mod ideas that you have that I might try to make happen. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.